Hello, this is Amy, the hybrid administrator for Rudolf, the tall white alien. Here are a few examples of some of our custom tall white alien protective amulets. To inquire, please email amytallwhite@gmail.com. Thank you. Hello, this is Amy, the hybrid administrator for Rudolf, the tall white alien. I have created an interesting creation piece of art, which is representing Rudolf's home planet and a few other things which you will see. It's a little bit it's my creative interpretation, so don't take it too seriously. You can laugh, don't worry. Okay, so here it is. Just take a look at the whole thing for a few seconds, and then I'll start explaining. Okay, here we go. So let's start here with this blue segment. That is the representing the atmosphere of Rudolf's home planet, which, as you know, by law cannot be told, neither the name nor the location. So okay, here we go. This blue part is the atmosphere, which is water-like, a light blue, which is transparent, and it is extending about 5 miles high. This planet is having very low magnetism, so that is also corresponding with how the tall whites are moving. How they move is something like, we can compare it to maybe when a person is walking on the moon, something like this bouncing, jumping across a distance, kind of jumping wise, up and sideways, which is pretty cool, as I understand it. So that is that. Now we can move on to the green segment. This is representing the thick mushroom-like field which they are having there on the ground of this planet. That is their main source of nourishment. And when they're eating these are the workers, the females, and they are responsible for feeding the sleepers. And so they just take off segments, pieces of these mushroom plants, the leaves or the caps maybe, I don't know, but they're very large and they kind of grow together, as I understand it. So they're feeding these sleepers, and you know, I drew them in my own creative kind of way, but what I want you to take away from how I drew it was that they are, as I understand it, a little bit gelatin-like consistency. They're not having too much of a form, and they are being fed through slots. That's why I kind of drew it like that. Some kind of a cartoonish mouth I drew it. You don't have to get too close. And then here are the platforms. It's my way of drawing a platform. Plateaus, these flat surfaces which are distributed around the planet. That's where the sleepers are hanging out, sleeping, dreaming, doing their business. And cool also is that these plateaus are portals to other dimensions, other worlds, where the sleepers can go. And obviously when they go to these other places, they can turn themselves into whichever creature they would like, which usually, normally, maybe most likely, they would like to be the most intelligent creature wherever they're going. So, so that is what is going on there. Above the heads of these sleepers are some little, that was my representation of how they are dreaming up these different worlds and dimensions. So that's kind of like a thought bubble. Also, I put them in pairs of 5 because 5 is to the tall white aliens, as I understand it, a sacred number. They are communicating through telepathy. And the council, which is that is the totality of all of them communicating with each other, as I understand it. So that is how they're communicating. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Here you see these little golden compost or mulch or energy for these mushrooms to grow, and that is coming from down here. The pyramids, different ones around the planet, but here I tried to draw the Giza pyramids. They're storing this emotional energy, and that is being beamed up to their home planet. I just drew it like that, don't put too much emphasis on it, but there it goes to feed the mushrooms. And where is this energy coming from? Yes, of course, from these different highly emotional charged situations. This is more on the negative side, violent kind of war energy. This is kind of a funny thing I thought up, what would be a dramatic, ugly energy type situation. There's a man being eaten by a shark from one end, and his face is being crushed by a giant squid or octopus type of creature. So I would imagine that would be a lot of nasty energy that can be turned into beautiful things, which is always good to remember. And here on this side, this is more of like a loving, sexual type of energy, which can also be taken up through these pyramids and also through the tall whites themselves, and also probably other creatures. So they like to get this good energy. And this funny little, what I did there is, that's how I imagine Rudolf taking up this good emotional energy. And here we have in front my creative version of maybe how Rudolf looks, how he has been described to me as looking. He's having a little bit of a scaly skin, so to say, when they come here, because they live in such a delicate world that their skin is becoming a little bit more rough when they're traveling, or maybe when they're here or so it's like that. Yeah, this is kind of like a cape or so. Yeah, let me let Carl talk a little bit about Rudolph's form.
Well, I'm just listening intensely, and I try to recall all of that, what Rudolf told me, and that what Amy has learned over the years now. And she's writing an extensive book about it, which will come out one day. And she can tell you pretty much a lot about all the details which Rudolf gave us over the years. Maybe there's something else which comes to mind?
I wanted you maybe to talk a little bit about more his form. Carla has told me that he has green, piercing eyes. I tried to portray that some kind of, maybe they're a little bit in the bird family, not that, don't take that too much. Okay, maybe Rudolf wants to talk about his form sometime, but let's not focus too much on that. It's not hugely important. Okay, here I forgot to describe this interesting scene, which is, I'm not sure if this is happening on the platform, but I just drew it like that. Okay, the sleepers are eating on these platforms, they're traveling on these platforms, maybe they have sex and maybe they give birth on these platforms, maybe not, I cannot say. But this is a mother tall white alien who has just died because this baby was born, and when these babies are born, the mothers are dying, and this is turning into black goo. She's turning into black goo, and that is the first nourishment, as I understand it, for the baby tall whites. So that is that.
So that's the same black goo which is so rare
Yes.
and can be applied to the neck of a alien-human hybrid if they reach a certain stage of development. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I think this is a very interesting drawing, or call it painting, Amy made, and she took a lot of effort and time to do so. And I actually have this painting normally in a frame, and we have it at our residence, and we also have some limited editions of it for the ones who might be interesting to collect something like that, and whatever she will produce in the future. But what we wanted to do today is only to explain more or less how it is on Rudolf's planet, and I think that covers it pretty much, right, Amy?
I believe so. There's a lot I wanted to say. I'm not sure if I got it all, but I can always add more in the description.
Okay.
This is a very beautiful planet, I'm sure, and it's focused on meditation and being creative and having a beautiful life experience. They're also having good weather, consistent weather, no storms or anything. So everything is pretty much very great.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, Amy, I thank you very much for showing this and explaining what you know about it. And it makes me very happy that you are so creative, really. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.